Hello friends, welcome to the Hub. Today we will discuss our important polity question series, lecture number 6. Okay, and sorry for late uploading of this lecture due to my personal work. So let's start the session. And today's quotation is a self motivation. Okay, there is two type of motivation. Like one is inside motivation and outside motivation. The outside motivation is provided by the outside person or society or the nature or whatever it may be. Okay, but the self motivation you created by inside yourself, inside your heart, inside your mind. Okay, and that will keep you stand this race in this race. Okay, but if you um, always need seek outside motivation, that will boost you for some extent, but not in the total race. So be self motivated yourself by yourself by self motivating yourself, despite you will not achieve this goal in this competitive situation. So be self motivated yourself and always keep running in the race. Okay, if you are not running, just walking. Okay, but not stop in that place. Okay, if you stop there, no one will help you. Okay, you just keep working yourself and then you can achieve your goal. Okay, so keep running always and self motivated yourself. Okay, and this self motivation will definitely keep you in the keep you achieve your goal at last. Okay, so self motivated yourself. Okay, so let's start the lecture. And the first question is, Indian citizenship cannot be obtained by option A, birth, option B, naturalization, option C, abjuring any part of land, option D, depositing money in Indian bank, by which process we cannot obtain Indian citizenship. Okay, we know by birth we can obtain Indian citizenship, and naturalization, that is if you we stay in Indian, that is for 6 years, then after that we can apply naturalization process, and after that we can achieve Indian citizenship. Okay, and abjuring any part of land, if we acquire some part of some other country, that's we can, if we acquire somehow, we acquire Nepal. Okay, the Nepal people can acquire our citizenship by this process. Okay, like that. Okay, so this is the abjuring any part of land. Okay, and depositing money in Indian bank. If a foreigner depositing in money in our State Bank of India or whatever bank in our India. Okay, is the can acquire our citizenship? No, it's not. So option D will be correct answer. That is, depositing money in Indian bank is not the correct option. So Indian citizenship cannot be obtained by depositing money in Indian bank. Okay, so option D will be correct answer. Okay, next. In which of the following acts the provision was made for the establishment of Supreme Court at Calcutta? A Regulatory Act in 1773, Peace India Act 1784, Charter Act 1813, Charter Act 1833. Okay, so answer will be Regulating Act 1773. Okay, next. The question was establishment of Supreme Court at Calcutta. Okay, due to which provision? That is a Regulating Act 1773. So the option A will be correct answer. So let's study something about Regulating Act 1773. Okay, the first step taken by British government to control and regulate the affairs of in East India Company in India. Okay, we know that East Indian Company get the regulation appointment from the British Crown to वो हमारे यहाँ काम करेंगे और क्या रेगुलेशन करके एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन करेंगे। समझ में आया? ओके। सो ईस्ट इंडियन कंपनी लीज में लिया था किसको? इंडिया को। यहाँ से इनकम करेंगे और कुछ पर्सन और परसेंटेज ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट को देंगे। और जैसे कि हम क्या अब हम कुछ लैंड लेंगे और उसमें काम करेंगे और उसके बाद उसका टैक्स देंगे। जस्ट लाइक दैट ईस्ट इंडियन कंपनी गेट द command over the India. Okay, so but in 1773 Regulating Act, the British government want to control or regulate the East Indian Company affairs in India. Okay, the first step. Okay, and the recognized political and administration function of the company. Okay, this is the question also, and laid the foundation of central administration in India. Okay, this is also a question. And the feature of Regulating Act 1773, that is designated the Governor of Bengal as the Governor General of Bengal. Before that, there is presence of Governor of Bengal, but after Regulating Act 1773, the Governor of Bengal becomes Governor General of Bengal. Okay, and the Governor of Bombay and Madras are under Governor General of Bengal, that is subordinate. Okay, but before that they are each are independent of each other. But after 1773 Act, the Bombay and Madras governor are went under Governor General of Bengal. Okay, that is the also a multiple choice question. Okay, and the first Governor General of Bengal, that is Lord Warren Hastings. Okay, important question. Okay, first Governor General of Bengal, Lord Warren Hastings, and assisted by the Governor General of Bengal, assisted by 4 members of Executive Council. Okay, and their tenure was 5 years. Okay, and here in this Regulating Act 1773, the establishment of Supreme Court at Calcutta in the year 1774 occurred, and in the Supreme Court there was 1 Chief Justice and 3 other judges. Okay, total 4 judges. Okay, and also they mentioned that no private trade allowed to the servant of East India Company. Okay, this is also an important point. Okay, each and every point are important. Okay, British government control over the company strengthened by requiring court of director to report revenue, civil and military affairs in India. Okay, here is a board or director of board, that is court of directory. Okay, established in the Regulating Act 1773. Okay, all are important point. Each and every individual line are important point. Okay, so next. Sorry, answer already given. Okay, 3. Which act of British Parliament abolished East India Company monopoly over trade in India? Regulating Act 1773, Peace India Act, okay, 1784, and Charter Act of 1813. None of the above. Answer will be Charter Act of 1813. Okay, the British Parliament abolished the East India Company's monopoly over trade in India. Okay, before that the East India Company thoroughly monopoly over in India in the trade sector. Okay, but after the Charter Act 1813, the monopoly of East India Company has abolished. Okay, let's see the Charter Act of 1813, that is abolish trade monopoly except for tea trade. Okay, टी ट्रेड के बिना, ओके, और एंड ट्रेड विथ चाइना, ये दोनों के बिना मोनोपोली खत्म हो गया। क्या किसका ना? ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी का। ओके, द इंग्लैंड क्राउन, द ब्रिटिश क्राउन abolished trade monopoly of East India Company except for the tea trade and trade with China. Okay, they has that in tea trade and as well as trade with China, they had the monopoly over. Okay, and asserted sovereignty of crown to territory of company in India. Okay? And power to impose taxes with local government and punish for non-payment. Here is impose of taxes with local government, and who will not give the taxes, they will be get punished. Okay. Next, by which of the following act Legislative Council of India received the power to discuss the budget? Indian Council Act 1861, Indian Council Act 1892, Indian Council Act 1909, Indian Council Act 1919. By which of the following act Legislative Council of India received the power to discuss the budget? Okay, before that they could not make the chance to discuss also the budget. Okay, how hilarious the situation. Okay, so the answer will be Indian Council Act 1892. Okay, so answer will be option B. So let's study about 1892 Indian Council Act. The made limited and indirect provision for nomination for filling of seats in Central and Provincial Legislative Council. Okay, and the feature is an increased number of additional members, that is non-official member, in Central as well as Provincial Legislative Council. And the Legislative Council power to discuss budget and address question to executive. Okay, in the Legislative Council they got the power to discuss the budget and address question to the executive member. Okay, and the nomination on recommendation of a viceroy in Central Legislative Council and governor in Provincial Legislative Council. Okay, and also, remember the election word, however not used in this Indian Council Act 1892. Okay, it will ask in question like 1 to 3 option. Election word is used in Indian Council Act 1892. Okay, और दो क्वेश्चन होगा 1 to 3 2 3 1 3 like that question. Okay, you can remember that election word not used in Indian Council Act 1892. Okay, next 5. The Federal Court of India was established in which of the following year? That is 1935, 1937, 1946, 1947. That is in 1937. Okay, the Government of India Act 1935. Okay, उसी के बदौलत 1937 में फेडरल कोर्ट ऑफ इंडिया एस्टेब्लिश हुआ. ओके, and in the context of Indian history, the principle of diarchy refers to division of a central legislature into two houses, introduction of a double government, that is central and state government, having two sets of ruler, one in London and another in Delhi, division of the subjects delegated to provinces into two categories. What will be the answer? Diarchy means division of the subject delegated to provinces, okay, into two categories. Okay, that is the answer. Answer will be option D. And from which act this is belongs? This is from Government of India Act 1919. Okay, in August 20, 1917, British government formally announced objective to gradually introduce responsible government in India, but first in 1921. Remember that. Okay, and otherwise it's called as Montagu Chelmsford reforms. It is also a question. Okay, Government of India 1919, otherwise called as Montagu Chelmsford reforms. Okay, and the feature is center and provisional list created for specific law making. The structure of a government was unitary. Okay, here is the structure of government also unitary. Okay, and here the introduced diarchy system, that is one is transport and reserve, and in which sector? In provincial subject, not in others. Okay, in provincial subject they introduced diarchy system. It is also a question. In provincial subject, the diarchy was introduced in which of the Government of India Act? Okay, that is 1919 Government of India Act. Okay, and diarchy also what? That is two subject two subjects, that is reserve subject and transport subject. Okay. Introduction of bicameralism and direct election, it is also a question. In which act introduced bicameralism and direct election? That is 1919 Act. Okay. 3 of the 6 members of Vice Roy Council, they are belongs to Indians, but before that there is no Indians. Okay. And communal representation extended to include 6 Indian Christians, Anglo-Indian, European. There is communal representation added of to Sikh, Christians, Anglo-Indians, Europeans in Indian Indian Parliament. Okay. And new office of High Commissioner for India in London, Office of High Commissioner in London. Okay. And establishment of a Central Public Service Commission 1926 for recruiting civil servant, and separated provincial budget and central budget. Here in the budgets, that is divided, that is provincial budget and central budget. Okay. Divided each other. Okay. In 1919 Act. Next question. Okay. Pills India Act 1784 I have brought. Why? Because we always confused about double government and direct system. So system of double government means there is a two government, that is court of directory and the board of control. Okay. The court of directory managed to commercial affair of a Eastern company, but the board of control manages political affair of a company. Okay. So that is system of double government. Okay. And system of double government from which act? That is Peace India Act 1784. Okay. That is the difference. Okay. So double government system in Peace India Act 1784, but in direct system, that is from 1919 Act, Government of India Act. Okay. So next, under which of the following act diarchy was introduced at central level? Just I have told diarchy was introduced in provincial level. Okay. So in 1919, but here is the question was diarchy was introduced at a central level. Okay. So read the question carefully. Okay. Also I have highlighted due to that confusion. Okay. You may confuse, for that I have highlighted these 2 points, 2 words. Okay. Government of India Act 1909, 1935, Indian Independence Act 1947. Okay. And so it will be 1935. Okay. So let's study about 1935 Government of India Act. That is somehow about federal structures of our Indian. Okay. So there was 321 sections and 10 schedules. Feature was just, you can say, opposite to 1919 Act. Okay. Because in 1919 Act there was introduction diarchy in provincial section, but here abolished of diarchy at provincial and introduced provincial autonomy. Okay. And also adaptation of diarchy at the center. Okay. That is federal subject, and which are called a federal subject, and over divided into reserve subject and transport subject. Okay. In 1919 it is adopted by whom? That is provinces. Okay. But in 1935 center would adopt the direct system. Okay. That is reserve subject and transport subject. Okay. That is the key point. Okay. And also bicameralism in 6 out of 11 provinces, and separate electorate extended for depressed classes, women, labor, and provide establishment of a reserve bank of India, and establishment of federal court set up in 1937. Okay. And also Federal Public Service Commission, Provincial Public Service Commission, Joint Public Service Commission is created. Okay. And the residual power is to given to Viceroy. Okay. And here establishment of all India Federation consisting of provinces and princely states is as unit. Okay. And here is also created of 3 lists, the federal list, just like today, central list, state list, and concurrent list. And and there was federal list, provincial list, and concurrent list. Okay, so 1935, that's it. And next question is, the Act of 1909 was associated with the introduction of separate electorate, decentralization, diarchy, legislative council. The answer will be introduction of a separate electorate. Okay, in 1909, introduction of separate electorate just started. Okay, to divide ourselves in among ourselves. Okay, so the answer will be option A, introduction of a separate electorate. It is otherwise called as Morley Minto reform. Okay, Morley was Secretary of State, Minto was Viceroy. Okay, and feature is number of members of both central and provincial legislative council increased, and enlarged function of members. I like to ask supplementary question and move resolutions on budget. Association of Indians with Viceroy. The first Indian to join Viceroy's Executive Council, that is the Satyendra Prasad Sinha. It is very important question. Okay, and also appointed as a law member. And communal representation system introduced for Muslim. That is the first time separate electorate elected by Muslim voters. Okay, only elected by Muslim voters. Okay, or not by all voters. And Lord Minto, known as the father of communal electorate. Okay, who is known as father of communal electorate, that is Lord Minto. And separate representation for presidency, corporation, chambers of commerce, university, and jamindar. Okay. Next, 9. Which of the following act introduced the principle of a constitutional autocracy? The Indian Councils Act of 1909, Government of India Act 1919, 1935, and the India Independence Act of 1947. Introduction of a principle of a constitutional autocracy, that is in 1935. Okay. मैंने फिर से वो स्टाइल लगा दिया है. ओके, आपको समझने के लिए. नेक्स्ट, the Indian legislature was made bicameral for the first time by Indian Council Act of 1892, Indian Council Act of 1909, the Government of India Act of 1919, and Government of India Act of 1935. The answer will be Government of India Act 1919. Okay, हमने जस्ट पहले बिफोर स्लाइड में पढ़ा था जी बाइकैमरल इंट्रोडक्शन for the first time in 1919. Okay, here is the third point, feature introduction of bicameral and direct election first time in Government of India Act 1919. Okay, I फिर से बोल रहा हूँ, all of the points are very important in this slide. Okay, the power of the president to issue ordinance is a relic of Government of India Act 1919, 1935, 1909, Indian Independence Act 1947. Answer will be what? Ordinance making power जो अब हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में प्रेसिडेंट को दिया है, वो क्या है, वो कहाँ से लाया है? रिलिक्स में, मतलब उसका बेस कहाँ से लाया? That is from Government of India Act 1935. Okay. Next, which of act for the first time made it possible for Indian to take some share in the administration of their country? Option A, Charter Act. Option A, Charter Act 1833. Option B, Charter Act 1853. Option C, Government of India Act 1858. Option D, Indian Council Act 1861. The answer will be option A, Charter Act 1833. Okay, first time made it possible for Indian to take some share in the administration. Okay, they can participate in the administration. That is 1833. Okay. Oh, it is गलती से ऐड हो गया. Next, the distribution of power between center and states, as in the Constitution of India, is based on which of the following plans? Parliamentary Reform 1909, Montesquieu Reform 1919, Government of India Act 1935, Indian Independence Act 1947. Distribution of power between center and state. That is a federal structure. I have just told 1935, just type of federal structure. So the answer will be Government of India 1935. Okay. Yeah, I have written just federal structure like structure. Okay, so you can remember that the federal structure goes to Government of India Act 1935. Okay. Also, I have written in first point establishment of All India Federation and three lists, that is federal list, provincial list, and concurrent list. Okay, that is the distribution of power. Okay, who can make for which items? Okay, by whom? Okay, that is the power of distribution, called as power of distribution. Okay, next 14. A federal system and hierarchy at the center was introduced in India by whom? By which act? The Act of 1909, Act of 1919, Act of 1935. None of them. Federal system. Just now I said federal system. That is in 1935. Okay. And hierarchy at the center also. We know hierarchy at the province. By which act? I have told already. Just comment it on comment section. Hierarchy at the provinces. By which act? Okay. But in 1935, the hierarchy and the provinces is abolished, and the province becomes provincial autonomy. Okay, and the hierarchy added in the center system, introduction center. Okay, so answer option C will be the correct answer. The Act of 1935. Okay, next. Sorry. One amongst the following was not a salient feature of the Government of India Act 1935. The Act provided for an All India Federation. We know this is some features. Okay, and the residuary subject were allocated to provincial legislature. We have just written studied that residual power is given to viceroy. Okay, not the provincial legislature. So B will be incorrect, and then it marked the beginning of provincial autonomy. I have just told you. Okay, provincial autonomy started in 1935 Act, and it abolished the hierarchy in provincial level and introduction at the center. So option B will be incorrect. So answer B will be correct answer, because here is the answer is not a silent feature. Okay, so option B will be correct. Okay, and that's it. Thank you. If you like the video, you can share with your friend and like the video and subscribe the channel Redo Hub. For this PPT, just go through the Telegram channel and download it for refresh. Don't keep it for a long time. Okay, if you want to keep this, just write the points I have mentioned in short form. Okay, or highlight this in. I have taken this from Polity Lakshmikant. Okay, you can just underline this point. Okay, for your better enhancement for future reference. Okay, and आई विल नॉट से कि ये आप पीपीटी को मोबाइल पे सेव करके बार बार देखो, ये नहीं बोलूँगा मैं. जस्ट go through after 1 week, that's enough. Okay, because revision is must. Okay, and always keep टेस्टिंग योर सेल्फ बाई प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन. आई आई ऑल्सो सेड दैट मैंने सिर्फ प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन को पिक किया है और उसी के बदौलत मैंने सारे टॉपिक्स को कवर कर रहा हूँ. ओके, if it is helpful you can say, और यू कैन से आपको क्या चाहिए. सिर्फ अगर आपको सिर्फ लेक्चर चाहिए सब्जेक्ट का तो मैं बना दूंगा, लेकिन मुझे लगता है अभी के लिए एमसीक्यू विथ टॉपिक्स को मिक्सअप करके पढ़ने के लिए अच्छा है. क्योंकि आप तो पढ़ेंगे अपने आप से, मुझे पता है, लेकिन आपको क्वेश्चन करना बहुत ज़रूरी है. ओके, सो क्वेश्चन करिए और check yourself. Okay, thank you. Be happy and stay happy. Thank you.